Hello and welcome to another Legacy Edition battle video, and the last time I made one of these was about 2 years ago, and it was my battle compilation, one of my last ones. And in this video I'm going to show you a bunch of tricks to help you just get an advantage on the server. Some tricks. I'm also going to showcase some exploits, which is super useful. The first trick I'm going to showcase relates to TNT, so let me just quickly give myself some TNT. So the way TNT behaves in this server is that if you place it down, it's a full block for a second and then it ignites. But when it's in this full block state, you can do a bunch of cool things. If you connect into a battle server that's far away, it remains as a full block for longer. As you can see, I'm connected like locally, so it's only a split second. But I should still be able to demonstrate that you can make... Hang on, it's going to be hard. You can make jumps. Hang on. Oh. There we go. You can make jumps which wouldn't normally be possible by placing the TNT. And you can also like wall jump, so you can just do crazy things like that. But I'm going to show you a way that's quite useful in one of the maps. So if you're playing on Large Cavern, you've got this long vine here. And good players, they commonly go up this vine because it's the quickest way you can get to the power chests up here. But if you've got TNT, so let me just quickly give myself some. If you get TNT from one of these middle chests, and I think it usually maybe only spawns in the middle chest, and you climb up here and someone's following up, and they're like going to try and beat you to the high power chest to try and knock you off, you can break the vines just by placing TNT. And if you're playing on multi-rounds, this path is just no longer accessible. So it's pretty good because it's kind of RNG whether you spawn close to these vines or not. You can also do something like climb up these vines. I wouldn't recommend doing this. It's kind of just a trick you can do. I wouldn't recommend actually doing this if you want to win, but you can place TNT. And now you're stuck up here. No one can get up to you. They can shoot you and kill you, but you can just dodge the arrows. Another use case for TNT is that if you've got a water map like this and you don't want to jump on the lily pads or anything for some reason, you can place the TNT. Again, this is going to be hard because I've got such a good connection to the server. And you can take paths that people wouldn't normally be able to take. Hang on, I'm eventually going to get it. It's going to be too hard. I can get this pretty much every single time with 100 ping though. Another tip is that you don't really want to be in your inventory because then you're stood still, you could be attacked, and you'd rather just be moving around. So if you're like starting off at the start of the round and taking loads of items, instead of manually organising your items, you can use your offhand to switch things around. So if I want my wooden axe in a third slot, I can do this, and I can just shuffle them around, like so. Because a lot of people, when they take the item from the chest at the start, they're stuck organising the items, or they just don't organise it at all. Another tip is the items you take with you. So you've only got one row of slots, so you really want to make the items you have in it count. So important items are of course your weapons, your bow. You always want to put your bow in your offhand. But also you want to look for valuable potions like weakness potions, because this really decides a fight. Because you throw this at someone and they got -4 attack damage. If they got something like a wooden shovel, they can no longer hit you. If they got a wooden axe, they can no longer hit you. You also want to look out for poison potions because they're super annoying. You splash it on someone and they keep taking ticking damage. If they're trying to run away, they can't because they're like hovering up and down from like the damage they're taking. You also want to look for what arrows you have, and you want your arrows on the left side of your inventory. Like if I put this, it's going to shoot regular arrows. You want either poisoned arrows or weakness arrows. Weakness arrows can be super powerful if you're going against someone with better items. But if you've got the better items, you want poison arrows. Because then you can just shoot someone and they can't really run away because they're now poisoned. You also want to look out for health potions or lingering health potions, because if you're low, like typically after you fight someone, if someone sees you fighting someone else, they're then going to try and clean you up. So if you got a health potion after a fight, it can stop you from being cleaned. Something that's very important is the type of chest you go for. So in the game, you got the central chest, you've got the regular chest, but you've also got high power chests, and they really determine whether you win or not. So you want to know paths to high power chests. So for example, we're in Cavern, and you want to get your central items, and then there's a high power chest over here, and you have like fire spec stone swords, iron axes, knockback shovels. So I got a stone sword, and now I can win most of the fights because most other people would only have like wooden axes or wooden spades. On this map there's also a high powered chest over here, but I typically only get one, and then I just get regular items. Now in terms of combat, I mentioned before you want to have like weakness potions, so let's just pretend this is a weakness potion. So if someone's coming up at you and they're getting close, if you splash them with weakness, you would now pretty much win the fight. Okay, apparently getting kicked for idlings now, I think. Okay, let me try this again. Okay, so in terms of combat, I haven't got any of the items I need. Okay, let's just pretend they got the items I need. So in terms of combat, if someone's coming up towards you, you want to splash them with weakness if you got it. You want to splash them with poison. If you got harming potions, they can really damage someone. But also, if someone's coming close, I bow them with arrows because that depletes their health. And bows are very powerful in battle. They do too much damage. And when you go to melee attack them, you want to prioritize getting critical hits, which I can't do because they're in water. So you want to prioritize giving them critical hits, jumping and hitting them. Also, if you keep letting go of W after every hit, you can deal more knockback if you want to knock them away. That's how people do combos. Okay, now I'm going to show you a trick which isn't very useful, it's just a fun thing to do in the lobby, and it's what got me permanently banned. So if you've won the game and you're in the lobby, you get the Elytra. Now if you right click equip the Elytra and offhand it, you've now got a Ghost Elytra. So now if you spam space, you keep activating your fake Elytra wings, and it's a lot more effective if you got higher ping. And you look very funky in the lobby, and you can just go and give someone the Elytra, they can also do it. You can also do jumps you can't normally do. So I think I did this. Well, I actually landed on the tree, and that's what got me permanently banned. So that's a cool exploit you can do while you're waiting for someone to ready up. This one is general Minecraft knowledge. So in the battle maps, there's lots of uses of slime blocks because there's places like Shrunk or this map where there's high up areas and low down areas, and you want to quickly go between, well, from high to low. And what a lot of people do, they like bounce on it and then they're bouncing. And at this point, you're pretty vulnerable. But if you hold the space bar, you don't bounce at all. Well, you do bounce, but you jump. So that stops you from going up high in the air. So if you're up high and you want to drop down on someone, if you hold the space bar while you land on the slime block. So if you hold the space bar while you're landing... Okay, I did it. Sorry, I need to do that again. I didn't expect to land it. So if you're holding the space bar while landing on the slime block, you don't bounce, and you can quickly drop on them and kill them rather than bouncing up in the air. Okay, now here's a tip to do with bows. I think this is real. So when I shoot a bow, I jump as I shoot. And that's because in Minecraft, I think past 1.9, I think it is, the arrow velocity changes depending on your player movement. So if you're jumping, you're making a quick movement, your arrow goes further, you deal more damage. Which makes it easier to hit players from longer ranges. I believe this is the case. I've always observed my arrows go... Actually, let's try this now. So if I shoot here regularly, it goes about here. If I shoot and jump, actually I'll aim down a little so the jump doesn't affect it too much. I don't know. And my last tip for you is that if you're in the lobby and you've got an annoying player like Notch, who always takes off all of his armor, drinks an invis potion, and kills you unsuspectedly, if you fill them with arrows in the lobby, when you go in-game and they try and drink an invis potion, all the arrows from the lobby are still stuck inside of them, so you can still see them. And that will end this video. I might create another one if I can think of more tips. But I think this is all the main ones. See ya.